My fiancé declared, "I'm not moving to that boring small town for your job." I replied, "I understand." Then I took the promotion anyway and moved alone. When she discovered my boring job paid me $600K per year, her reconciliation messages started coming. I, 32 male, had been with Rebecca, 29, for 5 years, engaged for 1. We lived in a major metropolitan area where she worked as an interior designer and I was a senior software architect at a tech company. Life was comfortable. I made around $120, she made about 80 Qley. We had a nice apartment, went to trendy restaurants, the whole urban professional thing. Last March, my company approached me with an opportunity. They were opening a new R&D facility and needed someone to lead the entire engineering division. The catch? It was in what Rebecca would call the middle of nowhere, a town of about 30,000 people, 3 hours from any major city. The compensation package was insane. $450K base, potential bonuses up to $150K, full relocation package, and equity that could be worth millions if the facility succeeded. Plus, cost of living there was about 60% lower than where we lived. I came home excited to discuss it with Rebecca. "Babe, I got offered an incredible promotion today." She looked up from her iPad where she was scrolling through design blogs. "That's great. When do you start? We should celebrate." "Well, there's something we need to talk about. It's in Millbrook." Her face scrunched up. "Where?" "It's a smaller town, about 3 hours north, but the opportunity is..." "Wait, you're joking, right? You want us to move to some random town?" "Rebecca, this is division head. It's a massive career jump." She laughed, not a happy laugh. "Brian, I'm not moving to some boring small town for your job. My entire career is here. My clients, my network, everything. You could build a new client base. Interior designers work everywhere. In a town of 30,000? What am I supposed to do? Redesign barns? That's not fair." "No, what's not fair is you even considering dragging me to the middle of nowhere. We have a life here. Our friends are here. Culture is here. Good restaurants are here. The salary is..." "I don't care about the salary. Money isn't everything, Brian. Quality of life matters. Quality of life includes financial security." She stood up, angry now. "If you loved me, you wouldn't even consider this." My answer is no, absolutely not. I'm not moving to that boring small town for your job or any job. I sat there for a moment, looking at the woman I was supposed to marry. The woman who didn't even ask what the salary was, what the opportunity meant for our future, or what the town was actually like. "I understand," I said quietly. "Good. Now can we please drop this?" But I didn't drop it. I spent the next 2 weeks researching Millbrook. It wasn't the desolate wasteland Rebecca imagined. It had a charming downtown, great schools, beautiful parks, and a growing tech scene, thanks to companies like mine moving operations there. Houses that would cost $2 million in our city were 400 Qley there. Update 1. I accepted the position without telling Rebecca. I know that sounds terrible, but hear me out. Every time I tried to discuss it rationally, she'd shut me down with, "We already decided," or "Stop trying to convince me to ruin my life." She wouldn't even look at the photos I'd found of the town or listen to the financial breakdown. Her friends didn't help. Rebecca told them about the offer, leaving out the salary details naturally, and they all reinforced her position. Can you imagine Rebecca in a small town? Her best friend Natalie laughed at a dinner party. She'd die of boredom in a week. "Brian's being selfish," another friend Jessica added, "expecting you to give up everything for his career. It's honestly toxic masculinity." "I'm sitting right here," I pointed out. "Well, it's true," Jessica shrugged. "In this day and age, expecting a woman to follow a man anywhere is archaic. But expecting a man to turn down a life-changing opportunity is fine?" I asked. "It's not life-changing if it ruins your life," Rebecca said, kissing my cheek like I was a child who didn't understand basic concepts. That night, I made my decision. I called my boss the next morning and accepted. The company gave me 6 weeks to transition and relocate. I started quietly preparing. Opened a new bank account for the relocation bonus and higher salary. Started looking at houses in Millbrook. Began the paperwork for the move. 3 weeks in, Rebecca noticed I was distant. "What's wrong with you lately?" She asked over dinner. "Just work stuff." "Well, stop moping. It's annoying." That's when I knew I was making the right choice. Update 2. 2 weeks before my move date, I told Rebecca, "We need to talk," I said on a Sunday morning. "If this is about that small town thing again." I accepted the job. I'm moving to Millbrook in 2 weeks. She stared at me, then laughed. Very funny. I'm serious. I've already found a house to rent. The movers come next Monday. The color drained from her face. You can't be serious. We're engaged. And you made it clear that your life here is more important than our future together. That's not what I said. You said you wouldn't move for my job or any job. You wouldn't even discuss it. Because there's nothing to discuss. Brian, you're throwing away everything we built for some job. It's not just some job. It's running an entire division. It's a career-defining opportunity. I don't care if they made you CEO, I'm not moving. I know. That's why I'm going alone. She stood up, shaking. You're choosing a job over me? You chose your lifestyle over us. I'm just accepting that choice. If you leave, we're over. I know. You're really gonna throw away 5 years for money? I almost told her about the $600 total compensation then. Almost. But I realized it wouldn't matter. She'd made her decision without even asking about the money. She didn't care about our financial future, only about maintaining her current lifestyle. It's not about money. It's about respect. You didn't even consider my opportunity. You just declared your decision and expected me to fall in line. Because I thought you loved me. I do love you. But I also love myself enough not to sacrifice my entire future because you think small towns are boring. Update 3. The next 2 weeks were hell. Rebecca cycled through every emotion possible. First, anger. She threw my clothes out of our closet, told all our friends I was abandoning her, posted cryptic messages on social media about narcissistic men who only care about money. Then bargaining. What if you commute? 3 hours isn't that bad. You could come home weekends. Rebecca, that's not sustainable. Then I'll visit. We can do long distance. You just said if I leave, we're over. I was emotional. We can make it work. Can we? You won't even visit the town to see it. Then depression. She'd cry constantly, telling me I was ruining her life, that she'd never love anyone else, that I was making a huge mistake. Finally back to anger when she realized I wasn't changing my mind. Moving day came. Rebecca stayed at Natalie's house. She'd already blocked me on everything except email. Needed that for logistics of getting off our shared apartment lease. The drive to Millbrook was peaceful. For the first time in weeks, I could breathe. The town was even better than the pictures. My rental house was a beautiful 3-bedroom craftsman with a yard, something we could never afford in the city. My new office was state-of-the-art. My team was brilliant and excited. I started my new position and dove into the work. The responsibility was intense but exhilarating. I was building something important, leading a team of 50 engineers, making decisions that would affect the company's future. Update 4. Life in Millbrook was good. Really good. I'd joined a local gym, made friends with neighbors, found great local restaurants. Yes, they existed. The town had a thriving community, farmers markets, local festivals, outdoor concerts in the summer. My work was going exceptionally well. We'd landed a major contract, and my first quarterly bonus hit, $40,000. My total compensation for the year was on track to hit $600. I bought a house, not rented, bought. A gorgeous 4-bedroom colonial on 2 acres for $425,000. In our old city, it would have been worth $3 million easy. Then the messages started. First from Jessica. Hey Brian, hope you're doing well. Random question. Rebecca said you took a new position? She's being weird about it. Is everything okay? I didn't respond. Then Natalie. Brian, can we talk? Rebecca's been struggling. Maybe you two should talk things through? Also ignored. Then Rebecca's mom, who I'd always liked. Brian, honey, I don't understand what happened. Rebecca says you chose your career over her. That doesn't sound like you. I did respond to her. Hi Margaret. Rebecca decided she wouldn't even consider moving for my career advancement. I respected her choice and made mine. I hope she's well. Margaret wrote back. She didn't tell me it was a career advancement. She said it was a lateral move to nowhere. I didn't correct her. Wasn't my job to manage Rebecca's narrative. Update 5. The dam broke when I posted a photo on LinkedIn. It was from our division's launch party for a new product. Just a professional photo of me with my team, captioned, "Proud to lead this incredible engineering division as we launch Project Phoenix." Amazing what we've accomplished in just 6 months at our Millbrook facility. My LinkedIn exploded. Former colleagues congratulating me, industry connections reaching out. And then, Rebecca's email. Division head, when were you going to tell me you were a division head? I didn't respond. 2 hours later, Brian, please, I just saw the announcement. Your company's website says the division head position, the salary range, is this real? Still didn't respond. The emails kept coming. I looked up the house you bought. It's beautiful. Jessica drove through Millbrook last week. She said it's actually really nice. I made a mistake. Please talk to me. I love you. I'm sorry. We can work this out. Then Natalie started. Brian, Rebecca just told us about your actual position. We had no idea. She made it sound like you were taking some random job in the middle of nowhere. Hey, I owe you an apology. Rebecca wasn't honest about your opportunity. Division head is incredible. Congratulations. Even some of Rebecca's male colleagues reached out, having seen the LinkedIn post, and connected the dots about why we'd split. But the best message came from Rebecca's dad, who I'd barely heard from during our relationship. Brian, my wife told me what happened. I run a small construction company, so I understand business decisions. You made the right call, son. Don't look back. P.S. Rebecca didn't know I was reaching out. She also didn't know I knew about your promotion. Margaret and I are disappointed in how she handled this. Update 6. When I didn't respond to Rebecca's emails, she escalated. First, she tried going through my family. My mom called Brian. Rebecca called me crying. She says she made a terrible mistake. She made a choice, Mom. So did I. But she wants to work it out. There's nothing to work out. She made it crystal clear that her life was more important than I accepted that. People make mistakes. Mom, she didn't make a mistake. She made a decision. She's only regretting it now because she found out how much money I'm making. How much are you making? Including bonuses? About $600. Silence. Then, oh my, and she didn't know? She didn't ask, didn't care, said money wasn't everything. I see. Well, you know, I always thought she was a bit materialistic. Now you tell me. Rebecca tried flying to Millbrook. Yeah, she actually showed up. I was at a coffee shop downtown on a Saturday when she walked in. She looked different. Designer clothes replaced with jeans and a simple sweater, like she was trying to look small-town appropriate. Hi, Brian. Rebecca, how did you find me? Your neighbor told me you come here on Saturdays. You talked to my neighbors? I had to. You wouldn't answer my emails. Because we have nothing to discuss. We have everything to discuss. Brian, I love you. I made a mistake. You didn't make a mistake. You made it very clear that moving here would ruin your life. Direct quote. I didn't know. Didn't know what? How much money I'd make. What the town was like. You didn't know because you didn't care to ask. That's not fair. Rebecca, you called me selfish. You let your friends call me toxic. You said I was choosing money over you. You threw my clothes out of the closet. I was upset. And now you're here because you found out I'm making $600. That's not why. Really? Then why didn't you come 3 months ago? 6 months ago? I needed time to think. You needed time to find out what you walked away from. There's a difference. She started crying. Real tears, not the manipulative kind. Brian, please. I see it now. The house, the community, your success. We could have an amazing life here. I am having an amazing life here. Without me. That was your choice. Let me fix it. I'll move here. I'll start over. I can build a design business. There are wealthy people here who need designers, right? I researched it. There's actually demand. You researched it now, after finding out about the money. It's not about the money. Rebecca, 2 weeks ago you posted on Instagram about small-town people with small-town minds. You were talking about here, weren't you? She went pale. You saw that? Natalie sent it to me. She thought I should know what you were saying. I was bitter. You were honest. You think you're better than people here. You'd be miserable, and you'd make me miserable. Again. I've changed. No, your circumstances have changed. You found out what you gave up, and now you want it. But you don't want me, Rebecca. You want the life my success could give you. Update 7. When emotional manipulation didn't work, Rebecca went legal. I got a letter from a lawyer claiming I owed Rebecca compensation for financial damages incurred due to relationship dissolution under false pretenses. Their argument? I had deliberately concealed the true nature of my job opportunity, causing her to make a decision without full information, resulting in financial and emotional damages. I laughed so hard my neighbor knocked to check if I was okay. My lawyer's response was beautiful. Mr. Thompson attempted multiple times to discuss the opportunity with Ms. Hartley, who refused to engage in such discussions. She ended the relationship based on her stated unwillingness to relocate, regardless of circumstances. Mr. Thompson's subsequent success does not constitute false pretenses. No damages are owed. Rebecca then tried a different angle. She claimed we had a verbal agreement about shared future assets since we were engaged, that I had broken a contract by accepting the job without her consent. My lawyer shut that down too, with the added note that Rebecca had explicitly stated the relationship would be over if I took the job, thereby nullifying any implied agreements. Then came the social media campaign. Rebecca started posting about financial abuse in relationships, and how withholding financial information is a form of manipulation. She never named me directly, but mutual friends knew. It backfired spectacularly. One of her ex-colleagues commented, "Didn't you refuse to even discuss the job with him?" Another wrote, "Girl, you literally said you didn't care about the money." The best response came from, surprisingly, Jessica. "Rebecca, I was there. You shut him down every time he tried to talk about it. This isn't financial abuse. You made a choice without getting all the information. Own it." Update 8. It's been a year since I moved to Millbrook. The facility is thriving. My team just launched a product that's revolutionizing our industry. My total compensation this year hit $625K with bonuses. I bought a second property, a cabin by the lake, 20 minutes from town. Started dating someone, Amy, a local veterinarian, who's smart, funny, and thinks designer labels are a waste of money that could go toward animal rescue. Rebecca's still in the city. From what I hear through the grapevine, she's struggling. Lost some clients during her bitter phase when she couldn't stop talking about our breakup. Natalie apparently got tired of her constant complaints about what should have been. She sent me one last email last month. "Brian, I know you've moved on. I see the photos of you and your new girlfriend. She seems nice. I wanted you to know that I finally understand what I lost. Not the money, though I won't lie, that stings. But I lost someone who was willing to build a future, and I was too shallow to see it. You were right. I didn't want you. I wanted a lifestyle. I thought that lifestyle was in the city, with trendy restaurants and fancy parties. I didn't realize life could be good, maybe better, somewhere else. I'm not asking for anything. I know that ship has sailed. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for not even listening when you tried to share your excitement about the opportunity. I hope you're happy. You deserve it. Rebecca." I actually responded to that one. "Rebecca, thank you for the apology. I appreciate it. I am happy. I hope you find your happiness too, Brian." Final update. Last week I ran into Margaret and Rebecca's dad at a restaurant in the city. I was there for a conference. They invited me to join them for coffee. "We owe you an apology," Margaret said. "We raised Rebecca to value the wrong things, status, appearances, what others think. When she told us the full story, the real story, we were ashamed. She's our daughter and we love her," her dad added. "But you made the right call, son. Man to man, entrepreneur to division head, you made the business decision and the personal decision correctly. Thank you. That means a lot." "She's in therapy now," Margaret said quietly, working on understanding why she couldn't see past her preconceptions, why she wouldn't even listen. "I'm glad she's getting help." "Are you happy?" she asked. "Very. My job is incredible, the town is wonderful, and Amy's amazing." Good. As I was leaving, her dad shook my hand. "For what it's worth, we would have been proud to have you as a son-in-law. Rebecca knows she lost a good one." "Thank you, sir." Here's what I learned from all this. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Rebecca showed me that she valued her comfort and image over our partnership. She wouldn't even have a conversation about possibilities because she'd already decided what mattered to her. The money wasn't the point. It never was. The point was that she didn't see us as a team. She saw her life, her career, her needs, and I was either an accessory to that or an obstacle. To anyone facing a similar situation, Don't sacrifice your future for someone who won't even discuss compromise. Don't dim your light for someone who thinks your dreams are less important than their comfort zone. And for God's sake, if your partner gets a major opportunity, at least ask about the details before saying no. I'm living my best life in my boring small town, leading an incredible team, making more money than I ever dreamed, and with someone who'd move to Antarctica with me, if that's where my dreams led. Sometimes the best thing someone can do is show you exactly who they are, so you can make the right choice to walk away. Thanks for following along, Reddit. Peace out from Millbrook, the boring small town that changed my life. My fiancé declared, "I'm too good for your family's cheap restaurants," at my grandmother's 90th birthday dinner. I said, "You're absolutely right." Then I made sure she never had to lower her standards again by canceling the wedding next morning. Her tune changed when I, 32 male, was engaged to Bethany, 28, for 8 months, together for 2 years total. The wedding was supposed to be in 3 months. Keyword, was. My grandmother Elena just turned 90. She's first-generation immigrant, built a small empire of 3 family restaurants from nothing, and is basically the matriarch of our entire extended family. For her birthday, she wanted one thing: everyone together at her original restaurant, the one she opened in 1978 with my late grandfather. It's not fancy. Red checkered tablecloths, photos from the old country on the walls, menu hasn't changed in 30 years. But the food? Authentic as it gets, and to our family, it's sacred ground. Bethany knew this. I'd told her the stories 100 times, how my grandparents saved every penny for 5 years to open it, how my mom basically grew up in that kitchen, how every major family announcement happened at table 12. The night of the party, Bethany showed up late. Full designer outfit, fresh from the salon, looking like she was headed to a charity gala. "This is it," she said, looking at the restaurant. "I thought we were going to the nice location uptown." "This is the nice location. It's the original." She wrinkled her nose but walked in. My whole family was there. Cousins from 3 states away. My uncle Antonio, who hadn't visited in 2 years, everyone. Grandma Elena lit up when she saw us. "My beautiful." She mixes languages when she's happy. Bethany air-kissed her. Didn't hug, air-kissed. My 90-year-old grandmother. We sat down at the long family table. The food started coming out, Grandma's famous meatballs, the lasagna that won 3 local awards, fresh bread from the bakery next door that's been our supplier since 1982. Bethany pushed her plate away. "Aren't you eating?" my Aunt Rosa asked. "I'm on a cleanse. This is all so heavy." Strike 1. Then my cousin's kid, little Tony, he's 5, accidentally knocked over his juice. It splashed on Bethany's designer bag. "Are you kidding me?" she screeched. "This is a $3,000 purse. Who lets a child run wild like this?" The entire restaurant went silent, not just our table, the whole place. "It was an accident," my cousin Marie said, trying to clean it up. "An accident that ruined designer leather. This is why I said we should have had this at an actual nice restaurant, not some place where people bring screaming children." My grandmother's face, I'll never forget it. She looked like someone had slapped her. Strike 2. But Bethany wasn't done. "Honestly, Thomas," she said to me, loud enough for everyone to hear, "I'm too good for your family's cheap restaurants. This place looks like it hasn't been updated since the 70s. The food is basically peasant food, and don't get me started on the clientele." She gestured around at the other diners. Regular folks, families, couples on dates. The backbone of our community for 45 years. When we have kids, they're not eating here. I won't have them thinking this is acceptable dining. Strike 3, 4, 5, and 6. I stood up, calm, collected. "You're absolutely right." She smiled, thinking she'd won. "Finally, we can go to that sushi place." "No, I mean you're right that you're too good for this. You're too good for my family, too good for our history, too good for the woman who built everything that paid for the ring on your finger." Her face changed. "Thomas, I didn't mean—" "Everyone heard exactly what you meant." I looked at my grandmother, tears in her eyes, my mom holding her hand, my entire family staring at the woman I was supposed to marry. "Enjoy your sushi." Alone. I walked over to my grandmother, kissed her forehead, and whispered in her ear, "She's gone tomorrow, I promise." Then I left, walked out of my grandmother's 90th birthday, Worst night of my life. Bethany didn't follow. She sat there for another 5 minutes, according to my sister, then called an Uber. She texted me all night. That was dramatic. You embarrassed me. We need to talk. You can't just leave me there. Answer me, Thomas. I didn't respond. Instead, I did something else. At 9 a.m. the next morning, I called our wedding venue. Hi, this is Thomas Reeves. I need to cancel the Reeves-Morrison wedding for September 15th. Oh no, is everything okay? You'll lose your deposit? That's fine. Cancel it all. Then I called the florist, the photographer, the DJ, the caterer. Ironically, not my family's restaurant. Bethany had insisted on some pretentious French place. Canceled everything. By noon, $8,000 in deposits were gone, worth every penny. Then I went to the apartment. Our apartment. Well, my apartment that she'd moved into 6 months ago. Packed all her stuff, neatly, carefully. Every designer dress, every overpriced shoe, every piece of jewelry except the engagement ring that was mine to return. 23 boxes total. Left them in the lobby with a note. You were right. You deserve better than us. Good luck finding it. Then I changed the locks. Update 1. The aftermath was intense. Bethany showed up at my office with her mother, Patricia, full Karen mode activated. What have you done? Patricia screamed at the reception desk. You canceled everything? Security was called. I came down to the lobby. Thomas, Patricia said, switching to fake sweet mode. Surely this is all a misunderstanding. Bethany told me there was a small disagreement about dinner venues. She called my grandmother's life work a cheap restaurant with peasant food at her 90th birthday. Patricia's face twitched. Well, perhaps the phrasing was unfortunate. She said she was too good for my family. She didn't mean. She meant every word, and I believe her. She is too good for us, so I'm setting her free to find her level. Bethany started crying. The fake kind, with no actual tears. Baby, please, you're overreacting. It's just pre-wedding stress. Pre-wedding stress makes you insult the woman who raised me after my dad died? Oh yeah, forgot to mention that part. Grandma Elena basically raised me and my sister after my dad passed when I was 10. She's not just my grandmother, she's everything. I didn't know she raised you. You've been with me for 2 years, you knew. Patricia tried another angle. The wedding is in 3 months, people will talk. Let them talk. The deposits, already gone, canceled everything yesterday. That's when Bethany lost it. Real tears this time. You lost $30,000? $8,000, and it wasn't lost. It was invested in not marrying someone who thinks she's too good for the people I love. Security escorted them out, but not before Patricia shouted, You'll regret this. My daughter has options. I hope she exercises them. I called back. That night, the family group chat exploded. My sister Lisa, Grandma wants to know if you're okay. My mom, I'm proud of you. Uncle Antonio, thank God. She was awful. Cousin Marie, little Tony asks if the mean lady is gone forever. Me, yes, tell him the mean lady is gone. But the best message came from my grandmother. She doesn't text, but she had my mom write it. My dear Thomas, you are worth more than all the designer purses in the world. Sunday dinner, table 12, don't be late. Table 12, where my grandfather proposed to her, where my parents announced their engagement, where every important family moment happened, where Bethany would never sit again. Update 2. So Bethany's options didn't quite pan out like Patricia promised. First, she tried to salvage the wedding by herself. Called all our vendors to uncancel everything. Funny thing about deposits though, once they're gone, they're gone. And rebooking everything? The costs had mysteriously increased. The venue was suddenly 40% more expensive. The florist had a rush fee. The photographer was unfortunately booked. She needed roughly $45,000 to rebook everything. Her solution? She started telling everyone I was financially abusive and had stolen her wedding. The problem? Everyone knew the real story. My cousin Marie's husband is a bartender at the country club where Bethany's friends hang out. He heard everything. Bethany's version. Thomas became irrationally jealous and controlling. He canceled our wedding because I suggested we try new restaurants. Her friend, I heard you called his grandmother's restaurant cheap. Bethany, I was taken out of context. Another friend, didn't you say it at her 90th birthday party? The friend, in front of his entire family? They're too sensitive. Her friends weren't buying it. But the real karma came from an unexpected source. Remember how Bethany worked as a luxury brand consultant? Basically, she helped rich people spend money on overpriced stuff. Her whole job depended on her image and connections. Well, turns out my grandmother Elena isn't just a restaurant owner. She's a legendary restaurant owner. 3 successful locations. 45 years in business. She knows everyone in the food industry, including Richard Blackstone, who owns the luxury shopping center where Bethany's office is located. Richard has been eating at Grandma's restaurant every Thursday for 20 years. Same table, same order. He was there for her 90th birthday. He heard everything. Monday morning, Bethany's boss called her in. "Bethany, we need to discuss your client relations." "My numbers are excellent." Richard Blackstone called. "He's concerned about your values alignment with our brand." "What?" He said you publicly humiliated Elena Rossi at her birthday celebration, called her life's work cheap and peasant food. It was a private family matter. In a public restaurant. With 60 witnesses, including 3 of our clients. Yeah. Turns out the unacceptable clientele Bethany sneered at included 2 CEOs and a federal judge. All regulars. All friends of my grandmother. Bethany wasn't fired, but she was encouraged to pursue opportunities elsewhere. Corporate speak for quit before we fire you. She lasted 2 more days before resigning. Update 3. Desperation mode activated. Bethany started dating immediately. Immediately. New guy every week on Instagram, each one richer than the last, allegedly. First was Garrett, investment banker. Lasted 4 days until she demanded he take her to a $500 per person restaurant on their second date. He ghosted her. Then came Philippe, said he was a European entrepreneur. Turned out he was a waiter at a French restaurant lying about his accent. She found out when she surprise visited him at his office. But the third guy was special. Harrison Wellington III. Old money. Legitimate old money. We're talking grandfather-owned railroads money. Bethany thought she'd hit the jackpot. Posted constantly about finally finding someone on my level, and when you know your worth, you attract what you deserve. Patricia was ecstatic. Started planning another wedding immediately. Small problem? Harrison's family does their homework. His mother, Eleanor Wellington, is old-school high society, the kind who has a private investigator on retainer. She researched Bethany thoroughly, found the restaurant incident, the social media posts, the luxury consultant job she no longer had, everything. But Eleanor was smart. She didn't tell Harrison. She invited Bethany to tea. My sister Lisa knows Eleanor's assistant. Got the whole story. Eleanor served Bethany tea in actual antique china worth more than my car. Then casually mentioned, "I heard you're quite the food critic. Something about peasant food?" Bethany went pale. That was... "My dear girl, the Wellingtons have been eating at Elena Rossi's restaurant for 40 years. My late husband adored her meatballs, called them the best in the state." "I didn't know." "Of course you didn't. You seem to not know quite a lot, like how Harrison's trust fund has a morality clause. Any spouse who publicly disparages family friends or shows conduct unbecoming forfeits all financial rights." "That's not legal?" "Oh, very much so. We've had it since 1943, prevented quite a few unfortunate marriages." Eleanor smiled. "Harrison is free to marry whomever he chooses, but his money, that's family money, and we protect family, including extended family like the Rossis." Bethany left in tears. Harrison dumped her that evening, via text, while she was at dinner at a very expensive restaurant that she had to pay for herself. Update 4. The spiral was real. Bethany moved back in with Patricia. No job, no man, no wedding. No apartment. She couldn't afford rent alone. But did she learn? Nah. She started a blog, Dating After Emotional Abuse, A Survivor's Journey. Every post was about me. Thinly veiled, but obvious. When your ex chooses his family over your future. Red flags I ignored. He was too close to his mother. Why successful women threaten insecure men. The comments were not supportive. "Girl, you insulted his grandma at her birthday. This isn't the flex you think it is. Team Thomas to Baha." She disabled comments. Then came the cease and desist. See, Bethany made one crucial mistake. She used a photo from my grandmother's birthday in her post about toxic family dynamics, without permission. A photo that included my 90-year-old grandmother. My uncle Antonio is a lawyer. A very good lawyer. He sent a letter. Remove all photos and references to the Rossi family immediately, or face legal action for defamation and unauthorized use of likeness. She removed everything, but the internet never forgets. Screenshots were everywhere. Someone made a TikTok. Rich girl calls grandma's food peasant food, loses everything. It went viral. 2.3 million views. The comments were brutal. Imagine being too good for homemade Italian food. She really thought she was doing something. Grandma's revenge is served hot, unlike this girl's relationship. Patricia called me, crying, "Thomas, please make them stop. Bethany is destroyed." "I'm not doing anything," she posted online. The internet responded. "You could defend her." Defend her from the truth? She said those things, in public, to my grandmother. She's suffering. So did my grandmother on her 90th birthday. Have you no compassion? I had tons. She called it peasant food. Patricia hung up. Update 5. Plot twist nobody saw coming. My grandmother hired Bethany. I'm not joking. I was at Sunday dinner when Grandma dropped the bomb. I offered Bethany a job. I nearly choked on my meatball. What? She needs work. I need a dishwasher. Grandma, no, you don't need to. I don't need to do anything. I'm 90. I do what I want. But she's young and stupid. I was young and stupid once. The difference is I learned. She won't take it. Grandma smiled. She already did. My jaw hit the floor. She starts tomorrow. Minimum wage, no special treatment. She works, she eats, she learns humility, or she leaves. Why? Because, my dear boy, the best revenge isn't destroying someone. It's letting them see what they threw away. Every single day. My grandmother is a savage. And Bethany? She actually showed up. First day, she wore designer gloves to wash dishes. They dissolved in the industrial soap. Second day, she complained about the smell. The cook told her to get used to it or get out. Third day, she cried in the walk-in freezer, but she kept coming back. Week 2, she stopped wearing makeup. No point when you're sweating over a dish pit. Week 3, she actually ate the staff meal. Peasant food never tasted so good when you're hungry. Week 4, a regular customer, Mrs. Chen, yes, the federal judge, recognized her. Aren't you the girl who... Oh my. Bethany just kept washing dishes. Final update. Today was my grandmother's 91st birthday. Different restaurant this time, the newest location, bigger party, same family, same table 12. I brought someone. Adriana. Met her at a bookstore. She teaches elementary school, drives a 10-year-old Honda, and cried happy tears when she met my grandmother. Your meatballs are incredible, Mrs. Rossi. Call me Grandma, and have seconds. Adriana had thirds. Halfway through dinner, someone started singing happy birthday in the kitchen. The staff came out with a cake. Bethany was holding it, still in her dishwasher apron, hair in a net, no makeup, looking exhausted. She placed the cake in front of my grandmother. Their eyes met. Happy birthday, Mrs. Rossi. Thank you, dear. Bethany looked at me, at Adriana, at the ring on Adriana's finger. Yes, I proposed last week at table 12 with my grandmother's blessing. She didn't say anything, just walked back to the kitchen. Later, my grandmother pulled me aside. She's quitting tomorrow. Good. I'm giving her a reference. What? She worked hard for 3 months, never missed a day, never complained after the first week. She earned it. Grandma, the girl who insulted me is gone. The one washing dishes is different. Not better, but different. Sometimes that's enough. You're too kind. No, I'm exactly kind enough. She learned that what she called peasant food feeds hundreds of families, that my cheap restaurant employs 30 people, that the unacceptable clientele are doctors, teachers, judges, and janitors, all equal at my tables. And she learned that you can't wash dishes with a $3,000 purse. We laughed. Bethany did quit. Got a job at a mid-level marketing firm, dating some guy named Roger who works in accounting. No Instagram posts about it. Patricia doesn't speak to me, or anyone in my family, or the Wellingtons, or the Blackstones. Harrison Wellington III is engaged to a kindergarten teacher. His mother adores her. My family's restaurants are thriving. The TikTok actually brought in tons of new customers. Grandma had to hire more staff. Adriana and I are getting married next spring, at the restaurant, the original one, reception at table 12. The menu? Peasant food. The guest list? Unacceptable clientele. The venue? A cheap restaurant that hasn't been updated since the 70s. The bride? Someone who knows that my grandmother's meatballs are worth more than all the designer purses in the world. And Bethany? She sent a card. just signed B with no message. My grandmother framed it. Hangs in the kitchen next to a photo from her 91st birthday. To remember, she says, that dignity isn't designer. It's dishes. It's work. It's respect. It's knowing that no one is too good for honest food made with love. My grandmother is 91 years old, 5 feet tall, and the most savage person I know, and I'm proud to be her grandson. Even if our restaurants are cheap and our food is for peasants. P.S. to everyone asking, yes, the restaurants are real. No, I won't say where. My grandmother doesn't need the drama. She just needs her family, her tables, and her dignity. P.P.S. The meatball recipe dies with her. Don't even ask. Bethany, if you're reading this, the dish soap is under the sink. You know where. My fiancé declared, we'll have an open relationship or there's no wedding. I said, sounds fair. The next weekend, I went on 3 dates with her friends. When she saw the photos, her panic calls begged me to stop, but by then, I'd already called off the wedding myself. I, 31 male, am sitting here in my empty apartment, wedding invitations piled in the trash, feeling oddly free. 2 weeks ago, my entire life plan imploded. Wedding was supposed to be in 4 months. Now there's no wedding, no fiancé, and honestly, I'm good with it. Been with Delaney, 29, for 4 years, engaged for 1. Thought I knew her. Classic mistake, right? 2 Fridays ago, she sat me down for a serious talk. I'm thinking wedding jitters, vendor issues, whatever. Nope. Trevor, I've been doing a lot of thinking, she started, that tone that means trouble. About us, about marriage, about what I need to be fulfilled. I waited. She liked dramatic pauses. I want an open relationship. I blinked. Come again? An open relationship. Ethical non-monogamy. It's very common now, very healthy for modern couples. Delaney, our wedding is in 4 months. She leaned forward, grabbed my hands. Exactly. Before we commit to forever, I need to know I won't feel trapped, restricted. I need freedom to explore connections if they arise naturally. So you want to date other people? We would have the freedom to date other people, she corrected. If the opportunity presents itself, it's not about actively seeking it out, just being open to life's possibilities. I pulled my hands back. And if I say no? Her face hardened. Then there's no wedding. I can't marry someone who wants to control me. Control her. By wanting monogamy. In our marriage. Let me get this straight, I said slowly. Either we open our relationship or you're calling off the wedding. I need to know you respect my autonomy, she said. Here's the thing. Delaney had been getting into these self-discovery podcasts lately. Following these influencers who talk about expanding your consciousness and not limiting your potential, she joined this women's empowerment group that met Thursdays. Suddenly she was using words like ethical non-monogamy and relationship anarchy. But what really clicked was her mentioning her group friend Astrid, who had an open marriage. Astrid was always bragging about her connections and how evolved her relationship was. Delaney hung on every word. So this is about Astrid? I asked. This is about me, she snapped. About what I need. God, Trevor, try to evolve a little. I sat there processing. 4 years, deposits paid, families invited. And she drops this ultimatum 2 Fridays before we're supposed to finalize the catering. Okay, I said finally. Her face lit up. Really? Oh babe, I knew you'd understand. You're so? We'll have an open relationship, I continued. Starting now, both of us. Equal opportunity. She beamed. Yes, exactly. Though I mean you're so busy with work and you're not really the type to, But yes, theoretically, both of us. Theoretically. She thought I'd sit home while she explored connections. Sounds fair, I said. That night, I updating my dormant dating profiles. If we're playing this game, we're both playing. Saturday morning, Delaney went to brunch with her empowerment group. I went to the gym. Her friend, Qley, 28, was there. We'd always gotten along. She'd even said once that Delaney was lucky to find a stable guy like me. Hey Qley, I said between sets. Trevor? How's wedding planning? Actually, I explained the situation. Her eyes widened. She did what? 2 months before your wedding? 4 months, I corrected. But yeah, we're open now, both of us. Qley stared. That's wow. How do you feel about that? Exploring my options, I said. Actually, want to grab coffee after this? Catch up? She hesitated, then smiled. You know what? Yeah, let's do it. Coffee turned into lunch. Lunch turned into walking around the farmer's market. Qley was funny, smart, actually listened when I talked. Posted a pic of our coffee cups with great catching up with an old friend. That evening, Delaney's book club friend Mira 30F DM'd me. Hey, saw you're embracing new relationship dynamics. Good for you. Drinks sometime? Sunday had drinks with Mira. She was going through her own breakup. We commiserated. She posted a story of our cocktails, tagged me. By Sunday night, I'd scheduled dinner with Piper, 27F, one of Delaney's yoga friends who'd always been flirty at parties. Monday morning, my phone exploded. Update 1. The meltdown was epic. Monday, 7 a.m. I'm making breakfast when Delaney storms into the kitchen, phone in hand. What the hell is this? She shoved her phone in my face. Qley's Instagram story, us laughing at the farmer's market. Coffee with a friend, I said, flipping my eggs. And this, Mira's cocktail story. Drinks with a friend. And this, one of Piper's friends had posted about seeing us at dinner. Dinner with a friend. Want some eggs? Trevor, she actually stomped her foot. What are you doing? I turned, spatula in hand, exploring connections, being open to life's possibilities. You know what we agreed to. We didn't agree to this. To what? Dating? That's literally what an open relationship is. Not with my friends. Ah, there it was. Your friends are off limits, I asked. Was that in the rules you didn't establish? It's obvious. You don't date your partner's friends. Everyone knows that. Everyone? Like Astrid, didn't she date her husband's coworker? Delaney's face went red. Like, that's different. How? Because it is. You're doing this to hurt me. I'm doing this because you demanded an open relationship, I said calmly. These women reached out to me. We're all single adults in an open relationship situation. What's the problem? The problem is you're being vindictive. I'm being open to possibilities, like you wanted. She grabbed her phone, furiously typing. I'm calling Qley right now. This is unacceptable. Cool. I'm having breakfast with her tomorrow. You can talk to her then. What? Yeah, we really connected. Might be something there. Delaney stared at me like I'd grown another head. You can't be serious. Dead serious. This open thing? Great idea. Really opened my eyes to what's out there. She stormed out. But the text started immediately. We need to talk about boundaries. This isn't what I meant. You're purposely misunderstanding. Qley is off limits. Answer me, Trevor. This is manipulation, I responded once at work, following your communication style, keeping things light and open. That afternoon, I get a call from my buddy Keith. Dude, Delaney's losing her mind in the group chat. What did you do? Took her up on her open relationship offer. With her friends? They reached out to me. Free market, baby. Keith laughed. This is incredible. She's saying you're weaponizing polyamory. I'm just evolving, Keith. Growing, not limiting my potential. You're evil. I love it. But here's where it got interesting. That night, Delaney came home with the rules. Actual printed rules for ethical non-monogamy. 1. No dating each other's friends. 2. No posting on social media. 3. No dates on weekends, reserved for primary partner. 4. Must approve all dates in advance. 5. Veto power over any connection. These are standard. She's standard where? Did Astrid give you these? It's from the Ethical Non-Monogamy Foundation. I Googled it. No such thing existed. Delaney, you can't make up rules after the fact. You said open relationship or no wedding. I agreed. Now you want to control who I see and when. It's about respect. Respect? You threatened our wedding to get your way. Where was respect then? I was being honest about my needs. And I'm being honest about mine. I need to explore these connections. Isn't that what you said? Don't you respect my autonomy? She clutched the papers. This isn't how it's supposed to work. How's it supposed to work? You date hot guys while I sit home? No. I mean, you're supposed to be more selective. I am being selective. I'm selecting people I connect with. My friends. Great women. You have good taste in friends. Tuesday morning, got a text from Qley. Delaney called me screaming for 20 minutes. Still on for breakfast. Me. If you're comfortable, no pressure. Oh, I'm coming. This is the most interesting thing to happen all year. Breakfast was illuminating. Turns out, Delaney had been talking about opening the relationship for months in their friend group. She'd already been texting some guy from her pottery class. She showed us his pics, Qley said. Kept saying how you'd never find out because you're not the jealous type and too trusting. Pottery class guy, of course. His name's Stellan. He's like 25, man bun, talks about his art constantly. When was she planning to tell me about him? After you agreed to open things up, she figured you'd be so grateful she still wanted to marry you that you'd agree to anything. I laughed. Actually laughed. What's funny? Qley asked. She played herself, set up this whole thing thinking I'd be the grateful, boring fiancé while she dated around. Didn't expect me to actually participate. Are you? Qley leaned forward. Actually participating, or is this revenge? Honestly, started as calling her bluff, but now, I looked at her. I'm realizing maybe I've been settling. For Delaney? For someone who'd threaten our wedding to date other people? Qley nodded. She's always been entitled. We love her, but girl thinks the world revolves around her. What else has she said? Oh honey, how much time you got? Update 2 nuclear. She went absolutely nuclear. After breakfast with Qley, I made a decision, but first I had to see how deep this went. Wednesday, Delaney tried a new approach. Love bombing. Came home to candles, dinner made, wearing the dress I'd bought her last anniversary. Hey babe, she purred. Thought we could have a romantic evening. Just us. Can't, I said, setting down my gym bag. Meeting Piper for trivia night. The mask slipped for a second before she caught herself. Oh, well maybe after? Maybe, don't wait up. Trevor, sweetie, I think we need to reconnect. This whole thing has gotten out of hand. How so? Well, we haven't been focusing on US. The wedding's in 4 months. 3 months, 3 weeks actually. If it's still happening. She froze. What do you mean, IF? Well, you said open relationship or no wedding. I'm exploring what open relationship means for me. Might change things. Change? What things? My perspective. On marriage. On what I want. Her voice went shrill. Are you threatening me? I'm being honest about my journey. Isn't that what you wanted? Honesty? Growth? Not like this? No? How then? She actually stamped her foot. You're supposed to support my growth, while mine stays static? You don't need growth. You're already boring, safe, predictable. She flinched. Those were definitely words she'd used with her friends. I didn't say that. Qley mentioned you did, multiple times, to multiple people. The color drained from her face. Qley's lying. Mira confirmed it, so did Piper. You're turning my friends against me. I'm having conversations with interesting women. They're sharing perspectives, opening my eyes. To what? To the fact that my fiancé has been planning to cheat on me with pottery Stellan for months. Silence. Beautiful, damning silence. I don't know what you're talking about. No? Let me refresh your memory. I pulled out my phone, showed her the screenshot Qley sent. Delaney's own messages in their group chat. All about Stellan, how hot he was, how she was finally ready to explore her sensuality, how she just needed to get Trevor on board. You, they, that was private. So was our monogamous relationship until you decided it wasn't. She rallied, switching tactics. Fine, yes, I found someone attractive. That's why I was honest with you instead of cheating. You mean you wanted permission to cheat? It's not cheating if we agree. Did we agree, or did you threaten me? I gave you a choice. Ultimatum. The word is ultimatum. You're twisting everything. I'm seeing everything, clearly, for the first time. She started crying, but not sad tears, angry, frustrated tears. The kind when a toddler doesn't get their toy. This isn't fair. You're ruining everything. I'm participating in the relationship structure you demanded. With my friends, who are lovely people, by the way, really supportive. Mira especially. She's been through something similar. Her ex also tried to force an open relationship. Stop talking to them. No, I'm telling you to stop. And I'm telling you no. Open relationship, remember? My autonomy? Thursday came with the real escalation. I woke up to 73 text messages. Not exaggerating. Screenshots of every text Qley, Mira, and Piper had ever sent complaining about their boyfriends. Old grievances, petty complaints, taken out of context, made to look like they were terrible people. See? Her 73rd text read, "These are the women you're choosing over me. Toxic backstabbers." I screenshotted everything, sent it to the group. Me, heads up, Delaney sending me your old messages trying to make you look bad. The responses were immediate. Qley, she's doing what? Hey Mira, are you kidding me? I'm done. Trevor, you free tonight? We need to talk. That evening, met all three at a wine bar. They were livid. She's been spiraling in our group chat, Qley said, demanding we stop seeing you, threatening to uninvite us from the wedding. What wedding? I said. I'm calling it off tomorrow. They stared. You're serious? Mira asked. Dead serious. This isn't about the open relationship anymore. It's about who she is. Someone who threatens and manipulates to get her way, then loses it when others play by her rules. Good for you, Piper said. She's always been like this. We just accepted it. Why? They exchanged looks. Because, Qley said slowly, she's exhausting to fight. Easier to just go along. Until now, Mira added. You standing up to her? It's making us realize we don't have to take her crap either. She created her own problem, I said. Pushed for something she thought only she'd benefit from. Classic Delaney. Remember her 30th birthday? Piper laughed. Demanded we all go to that expensive resort, then complained we didn't chip in enough for her spada when she made us all bridesmaids, Qley added. Then tried to dictate our hair, makeup, weight, and plus ones? Weight? I stared. Oh yeah. Sent us inspiration photos of skinny models. Said she wanted cohesive photos. The stories kept coming, years of entitled behavior they'd tolerated. By the end of the night, I wasn't just done with the wedding, I was done with her. Friday morning, I made the calls. Venue, partially refundable. Catering, lost the deposit. Photographer, understanding, kept half. Delaney didn't know yet. She was at her empowerment breakfast with Astrid. Perfect timing. I packed my things. Not dramatically, just efficiently. My stuff, my records, my grandmother's china she'd always hated. Loaded my car, left my key, and one printed page on the counter. Delaney, you were right. We shouldn't restrict ourselves or our potential. After exploring this open relationship you insisted on, I've realized my potential doesn't include marrying someone who uses threats to get their way. The wedding is canceled. Vendors have been notified. You wanted freedom to explore connections with Stellan. You have it. Permanently. I'll be staying with Keith while we sort out the apartment. My lawyer will contact you about recovering wedding deposits you didn't contribute to. Thank you for opening my eyes to what I really want in a partner, someone who doesn't need ultimatums to communicate their needs. Trevor P.S. Your friends are wonderful people. I see why you were so upset. I connected with them. They deserve better too. I was at Keith's when the calls started. 52 of them. Didn't answer a single one, but the texts were art. Final update. The aftermath was everything I expected and more. Within an hour of finding my letter, Delaney had cycled through all 5 stages of grief, plus a few she invented. Trevor, answer your phone. This is a joke, right? You can't cancel our wedding without discussing it. I'm calling the venues myself. They said you already canceled? WTF? You're having a breakdown. Come home so we can talk. This is abusive behavior. I'm calling your mother. Your mom says she understands completely? What did you tell her? Stellan means nothing to me. We can be monogamous. I'll delete his number. Already deleted. See? Please come home. We've invested 4 years. You're throwing away our life over a miscommunication. I'll go to therapy. I'll go to couples counseling. I made an appointment Tuesday at 3. Trevor, please. This is because of those bitches, isn't it? Qley, Mira, and Piper are USing you. They're probably laughing at you. They just want to hurt me. I'm uninviting them from everything. Your brother just told me you're actually serious. This is insane. Over an open relationship I didn't even want. That last one made me laugh out loud. Keith saw it too. Didn't even want it? Bro, she threatened your wedding. Gaslighting 101, I said. Reality is whatever makes her the victim. Saturday afternoon, she escalated. Started calling my family. My mom, my dad, my brother, my sister. The script was the same. Trevor's having a mental breakdown. He's been manipulated by predatory women. He needs an intervention. My mom called me, laughing. Honey, Delaney just spent 20 minutes telling me you're in a cult. The cult of common sense? She says 3 women have brainwashed you into calling off the wedding. No, 1 woman convinced me to call it off. Her, when she demanded an open relationship to date her pottery guy. Pottery guy? Long story. Short version, she wanted permission to cheat, thought I'd be too boring to actually date anyone myself. Oh honey, I never liked her. What? Mom, you always said she was lovely. I said she seemed lovely. Different thing. Your father and I had a bet on how long it would last. Mom, what? She treated you like an accessory, not a partner. We were just waiting for you to see it. You could have said something. Would you have listened? Fair point. Sunday brought the flying monkeys. Her whole empowerment group started messaging me. Astrid, the open marriage guru, sent a novel about how I was weaponizing polyamory and abusing the sacred trust of ethical non-monogamy. I responded, Astrid, she gave me an ultimatum. I accepted. Then she got mad when I actually participated. That's not ethical anything. That's manipulation. Astrid, you deliberately hurt her by dating her friends. They reached out to me. Also, in your open marriage, didn't you date your husband's coworker? Because different. Because you did it? Astrid has blocked you. But the best part? The pottery guy. Oh, Stellan. Mira sent me screenshots Tuesday. Apparently, Delaney had gone nuclear on him too. Showed up at his studio, declared she was finally free to explore their connection. His response? What? I have a girlfriend? Turns out, all those flirty pottery class interactions, just him being friendly. He was happily partnered, had been the whole time. Delaney had built an entire fantasy relationship that existed only in her head. According to Mira, she had a complete meltdown in the studio, screaming about mixed signals, led on, wasted time. They had to escort her out. The instructor banned her from class, Mira texted. Said she was creating a hostile environment. I'm deceased. Wednesday, I got a formal email from her. Trevor, I've had time to reflect on recent events. I acknowledge I perhaps didn't communicate my needs as clearly as I could have. I'm willing to forgive your overreaction and work through this together. However, there are conditions. 1, you must cut contact with Qley, Mira, and Piper immediately. 2, we restart wedding planning with a renewed focus. 3, you apologize to my family for the embarrassment. 4, we attend couples counseling. I've found one who specializes in male emotional immaturity. 5, you acknowledge your part in this misunderstanding. I believe we can move past this stronger than ever. Love conquers all. Delaney P.S. I'll need the apartment Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the division. You can have weekends. I forwarded it to my lawyer with one word, evidence. Replied to her, no. Her response was immediate, no? That's all you have to say? No? Me, yes, Trevor, this is not a joke. Neither was your ultimatum. Neither is my decision. Move on, Delaney. I have. With my friends. Actually, no, I'm not dating any of them. Qley's seeing someone new, Mira's focused on her career, and Piper just wanted to support a friend going through a tough time. They're good people who deserved better than how you treated them. Then why? Because you showed me who you are. Someone who threatens to blow up our life to get your way. Someone who plans to cheat but wants permission first. Someone who loses their mind when others play by rules you created. I want a partner, not a dictator. I'm not a dictator. I'm a woman who knows what she wants. What you want is control. Over me, over them, over every situation. Good luck with that. You'll regret this when you're alone and realize what you threw away. I threw away someone who threatened our wedding to date other people. I'll live with that. The last I heard, she'd moved back with her parents. Still posting about toxic men who can't handle strong women and surviving narcissistic abuse. Her friends, former friends, have been great. Not romantically, just as people. We grabbed dinner last week, all of us, and laughed about the whole thing. She's telling everyone you're dating all 3 of us, Qley said. Like some weird harem situation. Plot twist, Piper added. We're all just friends who realized we had terrible taste in friends before. Speak for yourself, Mira laughed. My taste in friends has significantly improved recently. As for me, I'm good. Better than good. Living at Keith's temporarily while I apartment hunt. Gym routine's back on track, work's going well. Not dating anyone. Turns out I need some time to myself after 4 years of whatever that was. The wedding would have been next month. Instead, I'm taking the money I saved and going on a solo trip. Hiking trip through Iceland. Something I'd always wanted to do but Delaney called boring nature stuff. She texted me yesterday. Just one line. I hope you're happy. I am, actually. Happier than I've been in years. Funny how that works out when you stop letting someone hold your life hostage. Thanks for reading Reddit. Remember, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Especially when they demand an open relationship through threats. And maybe don't date their friends. Not because it's wrong, but because they're probably sick of their crap too. Trevor out.